A thick, unnatural fog slithered through the streets of Blackthorn, swallowing neon signs and choking the dim glow of streetlights. It moved like a living thing, curling around shattered windows, seeping into alleyways, creeping into homes. It wasn't just the pollution of a decaying metropolis. It was something darker, something alive. People whispered of things moving in the mist, shadows with no bodies, eyes that gleamed like embers, figures that slipped through the cracks of reality and pulled the unlucky into the void. They called it the Eclipse, a force that devoured light itself, and there was only one woman who dared to fight it. Her name was Nyx Veil, but the world knew her as Shadow Veil. Nyx stood on the crumbling edge of a skyscraper, staring down at the chaos below. Beneath her, the streets of District 12 were in ruins. Abandoned vehicles lay flipped and smoldering, and flickering neon signs sputtered in the darkness. Screams cut through the silence like a blade. The wraiths, twisted, half-formed creatures of ink and sinew, dragged civilians into the mist, their claws sinking into flesh, their bodies flickering like shattered reflections in a broken mirror. Nyx flexed her fingers around the twin daggers strapped to her back, obsidian blades that pulsed with the same darkness that lived inside her. Her suit, a sleek, tactical bodysuit of matte black with glowing violet seams, adjusted to her temperature as the wind howled around her. She didn't have super strength or the ability to fly, but she was something else. The shadows spoke to her, moved with her, became her. She stepped off the edge. The wind rushed past her ears as she plummeted toward the ground, but she never hit it. Instead, her body unraveled into inky tendrils, her form dissolving into liquid shadow as she poured through the air like smoke, reforming just inches above the pavement in an explosion of darkness. The wraiths turned, their glowing ember-like eyes locking onto her. Then they lunged. The first wraith came fast, its jagged limbs slicing through the air. Nyx twisted, letting the shadows at her feet pull her backward just in time. The creature's claws tore through the ground where she had stood an instant before. She countered, her daggers a blur of obsidian and violet light. The first blade sliced across its chest, the second pierced its core. The wraith convulsed violently, its body flickering like static before it burst into vapor. The second wraith shrieked, its mouth stretching too wide, its form jittering unnaturally. It lunged with clawed hands reaching for her throat. Nyx dropped low, her body slipping into the shadows beneath her feet, vanishing. She reappeared behind it in an instant, driving both daggers into its spine. A surge of darkness erupted from her blades, and the creature let out a final gurgling cry before it shattered into mist. A third wraith moved differently. It shifted, its body elongating, its arms twisting into scythe-like talons. It came at her fast. Nyx barely had time to react. She dodged left, but it adjusted, its arms stretching like liquid shadow. The fog thickened, more were coming, and then the sky split open. A deep, guttural hum vibrated through the city as the clouds twisted violently above. The streetlights flickered, then they went dark. Nyx felt it before she saw it. A fracture in the air, a distortion in reality itself. And then he emerged, Oblivion, the Eclipse's master, its god. He descended slowly, his form like a chasm of writhing shadows and molten crimson veins. His face, a smooth, featureless mask, tilted toward her, twin star-like eyes burning in the void. "You fight well?" His voice slithered into her mind, more felt than heard. "But you are a candle in a hurricane." Nyx exhaled slowly, her fingers curled around her daggers. "You talk too much," she muttered. And then she ran at him. The battle was a symphony of destruction. Nyx vanished, melting into the darkness and reappearing behind Oblivion, her daggers slashing toward his throat. But he was ready. A tendril of darkness lashed out, catching her mid-strike and hurling her through the air. She twisted mid-flight, landing back on her feet from the explosion. Then she ran back towards him, with a series of blows to his body dividing him in half. She yelled out, "He can multiply!" He ducked and weaved around her with a series of blows to her body when suddenly, a shockwave detonated between them, shattering every window in a 2-block radius. Oblivion moved like liquid night, his body shifting and stretching, each strike faster than the last. Nyx dodged, countered, struck back with savage precision. Oblivion loomed. "Give in," he whispered. "Join the Eclipse. Become eternal." Nyx's heart thundered. Then she smiled. "You first." She dropped her daggers. Oblivion hesitated. A split-second mistake. Nyx lunged, her body dissolving into pure shadow, a swirling maelstrom of inky tendrils and violet fire. She poured into him, inside him, and then she let the darkness consume them both. The sun rose over Blackthorn, its light piercing the mist. Oblivion was gone, and so was she. But in the alleyways, in the shattered remnants of the city, the shadows still moved, watching, waiting. And when night fell again, so would she. Because the darkness wasn't her curse, it was her weapon, and Shadow Veil would always return.